Hello YouTube, we're live here, and hello Instagram, we're live here. Now I'm having some problems going live on Facebook, so we'll leave them out this week. I'm sure they'll be fine with it. So let me check everyone's comfortable and set up. Lovely. Now, it's a very gloomy day here in Cornwall, so the lighting may well reflect that. So apologies if things look a little bit grey. But it's lovely and cozy here, which is quite perfect for this temple talk, really, as we're discussing all things rest and why that's important from the spiritual point of view, not just a physical and emotional point of view as well. So for those of you either watching live who don't know who I am and what I do, or those of you watching on replay, hello, welcome. My name is Rebecca Burgess, and I'm the founder and mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall. And the temple's been around since 2020. Yeah, 2020. And it's a roaming pop-up temple that travels all around Cornwall and sometimes a little bit further afield. And we do like priestess trainings, healings, divination, all sorts. You can check out the website if you want more information about us as a temple. But today we're doing a temple talk, which is where I come to you with a topic usually chosen by the lovely people on Instagram. Yeah, and we talk for about half an hour. You're obviously free to comment your feelings and thoughts at any time in regards to what we're talking about. Yeah, so let's get going. We've got about half an hour, which is a nice, just long enough time. So this is all about rest. So for me, I recently-ish discovered, so maybe about a year ago, year and a half, discovered that I'm a projector human design type. And that's, oops, sorry, I thought my phone was on silent. Anything important? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm a projector type, which I'm not an expert in this, but from what I've gathered, means that I can get, I need a lot of rest, I need a lot of downtime, and I'm not one of those people that can constantly be on the go, constantly be doing and talking and thinking and being. I just have to rest more than I allow myself. And as somebody with a perfectionism trait, that's really hard to like grapple with at the beginning. So for the past year, I've been on this journey of exploring rest and what it means to me, and all the different myriad of ways that I can achieve a restful state, and what that brings to me both spiritually and beyond. So for me personally, I'm sure there's actual experts out there who would tell you that this is slightly wrong, but for me personally, the main types of rest that I need are emotional, physical, social, and spiritual. And this won't all, happen at once. It won't all just hit me at once. But the emotional will be like if I've been grieving for my dad nonstop for a week, I would need an emotional rest. I would need to put on Mrs. Doubtfire and just have a kind of a blank slate, start again with my emotions there. Physical rest, obviously, that's, does what it says on the tin. That's, if you're somebody who's very much on the go all the time, either by choice or by need, and then physical rest is very important. Social rest as well. If you're somebody who gets, what's the word? If you're introverted and you kind of replenish your energy from being on your own, then you will constantly need social rest. And spiritual rest as well. I think in this modern day and age, and especially in Western societies, the way that we view life in general is always to be kind of a constantly on the go thing. It's to always be doing something, achieving something, striving for something, but that's not always the best thing. As much as I want to sit there and go into a deep shamanic trance every single day, that's not going to do me any good in the long run. It would just be too many messages, too much energy kind of wasted on kind of receiving messages or guidance that I've already been told previously by doing the same thing. It's just this build up of thinking that what you're doing isn't enough, so therefore I'll do more. So it's that spiritual rest as well. And rest is something that is so innately human. It's something that it's not a want, it's a genuine need. Without rest, we cannot and will not survive. And I think I've done a video on this in the past. Those of you on YouTube let me know if you're having a look. But I'm pretty sure I've done a video all about how our humanity is, how our humanness rather is a connection to the divine. You know, I can see a beautiful butterfly. That's the gods, that's divine, that's heavenly. You can't convince me that listening to Carmen, listen to opera, anything isn't heavenly, isn't divine. And rest is that kind of the pillar, the foundation that all of that rests upon. It's this, and again, so easily rejected because we think being human is a burden or something that this our body or this earth is not our home. Our home is somewhere beyond the stars, which it is. It is both of the stars and of the earth. But we forget the earth bit. We forget the body bit. So I think this rejection of rest is kind of a rejection of that link to the divine as well, in some way or another. In some way or another. Let me check the comments. Oh, cool, you're a projector too. Oh, isn't it fascinating to find all that out? Yeah, I was a bit bummed at first. I was like, yeah, I want to be like manifesting generator. I want to be the one that's go, go, go all the time. And then found out a projector. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Wow, that's really cool that you're one too. How cool. Yeah, so yeah, rest is human. Don't be afraid of your humanness and just let it be. And for me, rest is a link to the divine. Everything is, especially if you lead this kind of priestess-esque life like I do. Rest is the silence. It's the stillness within, and it's with that stillness and that silence that the divine can communicate with us. Now, if you're doing, let's say you do tarot readings professionally, you're doing a tarot reading for somebody and there is constant noise outside. Maybe there's like the village fair going on, or like the brass band is practicing in the village hall next door. It's just constant noise. Yeah, you could focus, you could try and like hone in on the energies and you'd probably do a really good job. But how much easier would it be to receive those messages if you were unimpeded, uninterrupted, and just, yeah, left to your own devices with it, left to do it on your own timing, if you like. So yeah, don't be afraid of the stillness. That's not a rejection of your spirituality if you don't meditate every single day for 20 minutes. It's an acceptance of the humanness within your spirituality, in my mind anyway. And rest allows us to integrate any messages or wisdom, etc., that we might have received from meditations or shamanic trances, ceremonies, whatever kind of spiritual, deep spiritual work that you do. It allows us to embody those messages. I think I briefly touched on it before, but that yeah, you could do like a 45-minute shamanic journey every single day, but the chances are you'll more than likely receive the same messages, just hidden in different symbology or different methods. And there's only so much the divine can give you in regards to that. It can give you all the information that you're ready to have and to know, and then it's up to you to kind of live with that, embody that, and kind of play that out in your physical life as you see fit and if you see fit. So there's, and the resting in between each kind of big kind of momentous spiritual shift, if you like. It's so much easier to take in those messages when you are rested or resting or restful. And it is, I think it's something like peace or happiness. It's a state that we can cultivate no matter what's going on surround. I can't talk. A sign that I need to rest. No matter what's going on around us, we can, we can, like with peace, like, yes, okay, this person said this really hurtful thing to me. I can choose to be mad about it for the next 3 years, or for my own sake, I can let it go and just be peaceful. It's the same sort of thing with rest. Once you've gotten into the groove with resting and being restful, it's something that is somewhat easily, hopefully easier as the time goes on, cultivated for you. You know, you can choose to book all your meetings in one day, even though you know you will be knackered by the end of it and have no time for yourself in the day. And that will ruin your whole week, which will ruin any downtime you would have anyway. Or you can space them out throughout the week and know that you've given yourself that kind of luxury of presence and of freedom as well. Um, so yeah, rest is just, it's such a good thing with your spiritual self. It gives you the time to integrate the teachings and the wisdom that you might have been gifted. And it's human, and our humanness is very much a link to the divine. It's not something to be rejected. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's give yourself the freedom and the gentleness to do that. So for me, I'm rushing through this today. My goodness. See, this is how you know. See, I am in need of rest today. I am feeling quite tired. You know, you just wake up and feel, "Bleh." That was me this morning. Because usually I will ramble, I will waffle. As we all know, love a good waffle. But today I'm just, God, in about 10 minutes, I'll probably be done. That's not like me. Gonna have a nice cup of tea after this, I think, and get ready for my next meeting or my last meeting of the day. But so yeah, how to rest, because it's all, you know, you can know, like on paper almost and logically, that you need to rest and should rest, but actually bringing that into your reality, it's a very different ball game. It's a very different process. And for me, it is, I'm still on that journey. I wouldn't say I have found the balance between rest and action, but it's definitely more balanced than it was. The amount of times that I would get burnt out in the first couple of years of running the businesses and the temple was insane. It was really not healthy. It's not good for me. Um, yeah, so it is a constant journey for me at the moment anyway. But to begin with, what I would do is find pockets of time where I could rest and could give myself that kind of leave of absence, I suppose, from my desk and from the temple, and do things that Becky enjoys, not Rebecca, the founder and mother priestess of the Temple of Cornwall, but what Becky enjoys. What do I enjoy? So I would make time at least once a week to do those things. So for me, that was, I'd put usually like a Thursday afternoon aside so I could bake something new. I would make sure that I read every evening, even if it was just 3 pages. I would make sure that I read a good book and smelt the book. Smelling the book is half the beauty of the book, in my opinion. Walking my dogs, you know, finding things that were restful for me and the type of rest that I needed. So like I said, the emotional rest, the way that I would rest from that would be very different to if I needed to socially rest. And it's those things that you'll discover over time, and you'll receive, or you'll come to this place of what I call authentic rest, where it's authentic to you. So my social resting would look like turning off all forms of contact. Any forms of contact with the outside world are gone for the, you know, afternoon, the day, however long I feel I need. And I will either read for that entire time, I will just do whatever I want to do for me. I'm not, even if I'm baking something, I won't bake somebody's birthday cake then. I'll bake something for me. And I know that I like, it will all be very selfishly, very deliciously all about me for that time. But for you, social rest could look like, um, you know, cuddling up with your dogs and not necessarily turning off the outside world, but putting in boundaries in place so that people know that you're not available to talk in that afternoon or whatever it may be. Yeah, so like carving out pockets of time in your day or your week, begin with whatever feels more comfortable for you and go from there. And then, yeah, play around with the types of rest. So it's depending how kind of intimate you are with your own emotions and your own needs, you'll know whether that's, you know, I need emotional rest, I need social rest, physical, spiritual, whatever it may be. And then from there, you'll know more what you want, but have a play around with it. That's half the fun, is thinking, okay, I'm socially exhausted. What can I do to rest that part of myself and to replenish it at some point? You know, playing around with it and being authentic to yourself and your need to rest and how that rest wants to play out. That's the most important thing. Because you could go on Instagram and look at all the self-care posts and try, you think like, okay, so I should be drinking chamomile tea with honey. I should be shadow journaling every night. I should be doing a gratitude list of at least 100 things every night. But that to you will just feel stressful, because that does sound kind of stressful, to be fair. But yeah, that will just feel more of a burden for you. Your rest could well be a good glass of whiskey, your dog, and board games with your partner or flatmate or whoever. That could well be your rest. And there's not a shadow journal in sight. There's not a drop of chamomile tea to be had, but it's still restful because it's yours. This is your way of resting. So I hope that's been helpful. That was all that my notes were. Like I said, I'm in need of some rest today, so this might not be my most bubbliest of work. But I hope you've got something from it. I hope it's just at least given you permission to go off and rest for the rest of the day or whenever you can this week. Especially as we move into kind of the winter period. I think we're so prone to throwing ourselves into all the parties, all the shopping, all the company, all the time. When actually it was never supposed to be like that, really. It was just supposed to be something a lot more gentler, time of hibernation, of resting with your beloveds. And so I think try and hibernate as much as you can this coming season if you need. Rest, be gentle with yourself and have fun with it. Play around with it. Sometimes, resting will be going horseback riding one day, and the next it will be just staying in bed for the whole day and ignoring all your responsibilities, and both are valid and both are fine. Depending what responsibilities you're ignoring might not be so valid and might not be so fine, but you get the idea. So then, my lovelies, this is potentially the shortest ever temple talk I've done. Feels really weird. I feel the need to talk for the next 10 minutes about nothing just to fill the space, but I won't, because I'm going to honor my need to rest. And you guys have probably got lots of lovely, restful and exciting things to be doing anyway. So YouTube and Instagram, and those of you watching on replay, I thank you both so much for joining me. I hope you've learned something somewhere around here. And if you're on Instagram, it may well be just be on YouTube. There will be a whole playlist of these temple talks plus previous videos that I've uploaded. So go and have a play around. I know there's a meditation or two thrown in there for you, that there's all sorts. So even if you're craving the last 10 minutes of this short temple talk, you can go and find them on another video as well. Any links that I've mentioned are in the bio, and that's all. Yeah, that's everything. So I will see you. Let me check my diary. When will I next see you all? On the 8th of November, Tuesday, the 8th of November. Come along on the day before, on the Monday, follow us on Instagram, and you'll be able to take part in the polling to vote for what the next topic of Temple Talk is. But until then, my lovelies, have a wonderful, fantastic couple of weeks. Have a blessed Samhain. I hope you both, YouTube and Instagram, I hope you all both have a wonderful, wonderful time celebrating your ancestors and everything that Samhain brings. Lots of Samhain blessings to you all. Bye, YouTube, and bye, Instagram. Mwah.